our Ghana Media TV viewers. Join me as I dive deep into the heart of South Sudan's economy to uncover what's really driving its economic growth, and I will be sharing my findings along the way. Uh, South Sudan is one of the world's youngest nation, which gained independence from Sudan in 2011. Um, this has been on a roller coaster in order to become an economic powerhouse in the East Africa region. The main revenue of South Sudan is oil. South Sudan is as of the third largest oil reserves in the sub-Saharan Africa. Now, South Sudan gained independence in 2011. After gaining independence, South Sudan was a promising state from 2011 to 2012, before the war broke out in 2013. So you could see a lot of construction going on. Juba started growing rapidly, and the economy, the currency was very good, very strong. One of the strongest currencies in Africa. Now, the country has been working on rebuilding and stabilizing its economy with focus on key sectors that could drive growth. Now, there are some factors which have really affected our economy as South Sudanese. One of it is its underdeveloped infrastructure. The country's roads, airports, telecommunications networks are in their need of upgrade and expansion. This not only hampers the movement of goods and people, but also increases the cost of doing business. For instance, the lack of proper road networks makes it difficult for farmers to transport their produce to markets, limiting their access to bigger markets and higher revenues. We have seen this, for example, if you look at Western Equatoria. Western Equatoria is one of the main agricultural powerhouse in South Sudan, but it is not connected to the capital Juba due to poor road networks. You have seen that mangoes rotting and other fresh vegetables because of lack of infrastructure. So for the government of South Sudan is to really work hard for its economy, it must have a developed and improved infrastructure, especially roads and railways. Another example is in Upper Nile region of Reng. Reng mainly produces sorghum, gum arabic. But when you look at the distance from Reng in Upper Nile to Juba is almost 700 kilometers. Now that distance is very far, and there are also flooding, which prevents farmers from accessing markets in the national capital Juba. Now, political instability is one of the main factors which have really really declined the economy. The political instability we started in 2013 when the fight broke out between the rivalry forces of President Kir and his vice president then Riek Machar. Now this one chased away investments, investors, the pound devalued, and also the growing economy really declined, because we know very much that if there is no security, businesses cannot run out smooth. We have seen that in 2018, telecommunication company Vivas, which was the largest telecommunication company in the country, was shut down and had to close down its business. Now this one created a very big gap, as most South Sudanese were mainly using Vivastel as a means of communicating to their loved ones. Now, political instability has also been a main challenge. The civil war that ended 2018 had a devastating impact on the economy, leading to a sharp decline in oil production, which is a critical component of South Sudan's economy. Now, also in 2023, when the war broke out in Sudan, South Sudan's oil revenues plunged, and the pipeline was mainly exporting South Sudan's oil was damaged. That's why we have seen that in the last 2 years, South Sudan has failed to pay its civil servants and manage its costs due to sharp decline in the oil exports. Now, despite all these challenges, South Sudan has a promising future. The government needs to diversify its economy. The government needs to move away from oil dependency to agriculture and mining. Now, we have seen that South Sudan also has a big potential in the renewable energy. For instance, wind. Solar power, a main source, could be main source of energy to run and to operate the industries, the growing industries and service industry. So for the government of South Sudan, it really needs to invest in energy sector like dams and other sectors so that they drive growth. The East African region, we are one of the countries which has the least electricity connectivity per capita. We have almost 10 cities in the country, South Sudan, with Juba, Reng, Malakal, Wau, Awil, Rumbek, Torit, Yambio, and so on and so forth. All these main towns or cities, most of them do not have reliable electricity supply and water supply. If the government we need to alleviate, the government needs to prioritize private sector, should lobby for investments to come and invest in our country. The country's economy is highly dependent on foreign aid. We have seen when President Trump came out this year in 2024, and became the president, he cut aid. And it's also one of the main countries that is heavily dependent on American aid. Okay? Now, the East African community's efforts to enhance regional trade and infrastructure development have also provided a boost to South Sudan's economy. As you know, South Sudan is part of the East African community bloc. The East African community is trying very hard, is coordinating with member states so that the standard gauge railway is constructed in all the member states. And South Sudan is not far from that. We have seen the plan which came out from Juba to Nimuli, and from Nimuli to northern Uganda. So we are still working with the government, still working with that. We have seen that the government of Southern is doing initiatives. For example, it has started now the construction of the road from Juba to Reed, Kapoita up to Nadapal at the Kenyan border. So now that one is to give us a good picture that yes, the government is now trying to diversify its routes of exports. Now, a significant recent development that exemplifies the potential for economic transformation in South Sudan is the signing of a major oil deal with a Chinese company. This deal is expected to increase oil production and generate much needed revenue for the country. The investment will not only boost the country's economy but also create jobs and stimulate economic growth. South Sudan is not different from other East African countries. Unemployment is largely affecting the youth, and now with this boost that the Chinese are going to invest in our oil sector, it's going to create jobs. The youth and the both skilled and semi-skilled, they are going to operate, they are going to work, and they'll be able to be paid. When they are paid the money, they'll be able to improve their standards of living with their loved ones and families. Now, this development has been hailed as a major breakthrough and a sign of growing investor confidence in South Sudan's economy. The government's efforts to improve the business environment and attract foreign investment have also been paying off, with several other major investments in the pipeline. Now, we usually have what we call South Sudan's Oil and Power Conference, usually done every year, 2 days conference. It brings all oil experts from different parts of the world, from Angola, from Iraq, from the Middle East, from the West, and so on. They come and discuss the opportunities in the South Sudan oil sector. In 2023, they had the theme that South Sudan is the gateway to the East Africa's oil sector. As we know, South Sudan is the main powerhouse. The government just need to invest in refineries so that we capitalize the market at the East African community. If you look at the East African community like Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, these countries do not have oil. So if our government invests in oil refinery, we'll be able to supply. Even Ethiopia also is interested in our oil. So if we have refineries, we can be able to supply these regions, these countries with our oil, and it's going to promote us, it's going to bring us foreign exchange. Now, in summary, South Sudan's economic growth is driven by key sectors such as oil production, agriculture, and trade. While challenges may persist, there is a light in the tunnel, and we are looking at South Sudan with time. If South Sudan stabilizes politically, things are going to be well. Thank you for watching this video.